We are narrowing down our top 5 fan theories. We did an episode on a fan theory before, but we're expanding that today. It's going to be fun. For me, this was kind of hard actually putting it together because I like a lot of fan theories, but there are some that are just like useless.
Yup. Yep.
All the
Absolutely.
they were dead the whole time and it was a vision
Yeah, this
and
character's not real.
yeah, like what is that? What does that do for the story? Dude, the dumbest one I heard was like the driver in Drive is autistic. That's why he doesn't talk.
Who cares?
Like,
Like, maybe.
yeah, even if that's true, that's not the point of the movie, man.
Yeah, it's also not like a theory. You're just like attributing something to him, and there's no way to know if it's true or not.
Yeah,
We need facts to back it up. Yeah,
yeah,
there's a
man.
lot of trash theories. Hopefully, we got 10 good ones for you guys. I think I believe all of mine. I've drank the Kool-Aid for all 5 of my theories.
Yeah, I believe 2 of mine, but what I like about the 5 that I was able to get was that they actually like help me appreciate different parts of the stories more. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, why don't you kick us off then,
yeah, sure.
Mr. Appreciation over here?
My number 5 is for a little show you might not have ever heard of it, called Stranger Things.
Hasn't
Um,
hasn't ever popped up on my radar. Even though this is
um,
like the 4th episode in a row we've talked about it.
yeah, I like Stranger Things a lot. I don't believe in this theory. I don't think this is the direction that they're going because the setting of the 1980s, the mid 1980s, is key to understanding the entire thing, and key to a lot of the themes and a lot of the conflicts. But there is a fan theory that the Upside Down is the future,
Mhm.
and it's not actually it's not actually an all opposite dimension. It's actually uh, in order to avoid spoilers for those who haven't seen it yet, I guess, if you've been living under a rock. Uh, a certain character gets targeted by a monster, and instead of getting that character, the monster latches onto another character,
Mhm.
and it haunts that character for many, many, many episodes. And um, the theory posits that the monster like originated, like was originally birthed from this character, and the big monster, not just the small monster
Yeah.
that first, but the big monster eventually is birthed from this character, and the government, in order to stop it, nukes the monster and nukes Hawkins, Indiana, and as a result throws it into a nuclear winter. And the only survivor is the smaller monster that eventually goes back to haunt him in season 1 again. So
Mhm.
while I don't believe this theory is true, a lot of what I love about Stranger Things is the fact that like the fate of the world is in the hands of really smart and really intelligent but really vulnerable children.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of this character being both the cause and the effect
Mhm.
of all the bad stuff that happens in Stranger Things. Um,
Yeah. I actually haven't heard that one, but I'm on board. I think it could be. I don't think I necessarily latch on right away. Maybe.
yeah, yeah, we'll see.
No. Um, my number 5, I'll start with my cop out. Um, Wonka Piercer.
I knew it.
Straight up did an episode on it, but I like it a lot. So why would
Yeah.
I deprave you of an honest top 5? Yeah, if you don't know, if you didn't listen to that episode, if you're new here, welcome. The movie Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Um, the head of the train is a grown up Charlie, taking on many of Willie's ways, I guess, of doing things. He's got some experimental transportation, unique food processing, the use of small people as labor. And every character that was with him on the factory tour, well, almost every character, is also in this, and they're a part of this world too.
Yes.
Uh, Listen to our episode, honestly, if you want more details. Watch the movies, make the connections, and listen to it. I don't need to go into everything here.
Yep, yep. Um, my number four is from a show that spawns, 50 fan theories every season it comes out. Of course, I'm talking about Rick and Morty. Um,
Okay. I was like either that or Lost, but Lost isn't still coming out.
I actually never watched all of Lost. I've seen like a few episodes, but
Same.
yeah, with Rick and Morty, there's a lot of fan theories that are just kind of nonsense. A lot of ones that are like, that probably won't that might be true, but they won't get answered for 50 more episodes.
I think most theories in that show will just never be answered because it's such
Yeah,
like a bottle episode show as a whole. Like every single episode is so individual that like they really have no crossover with each other.
yeah, it's interesting though, because this one is draws a lot of parallels and builds on contradictions within characters and their relationships. The idea basically is that Jerry. So early on in the show, in order to hurt Morty's feelings, Rick says that the only reason he keeps Morty around is because Morty's stupid brain waves cancel out his smart brain waves and help him hide from the Galactic Empire. Um, and Morty gets very butthurt over this and stuff like that. But another key relationship in the show is Rick's hatred for his son-in-law Jerry, who's married to Beth, who we also find out is extremely smart, but settled for a kind of mediocre life because of her marriage to Jerry.
Yeah.
The theory is basically that Rick sets up Jerry to be Beth's husband in order to hide her smartness from the Galactic
Like
Empire.
it. I like it.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of interesting too because Rick hates Jerry for so many episodes, but there's actually an episode that's just the two of them, and it's
Mhm.
like one of my favorite episodes because you realize like if Jerry was not married to Beth, like they might actually be friends and they might
Yeah.
actually like be cool with each other. Like they drink together, they survive this assassination plot together, they travel through a wormhole and experience thousands of years of existing in different forms together. It's super weird and interesting. Um, and and I think that'd be an interesting contradiction to have that in Rick's mind. Like, man, I kind of like this guy, but I kind of hate this guy because he's married to my daughter. But I also need this guy to be married to my daughter. So I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Yeah. I actually really fuck with that. My girlfriend calls me Jerry partially because of that character, and I hate it.
This is the worst Jerry too.
Yeah, like it's just not a good time. Anyways, my number four is also TV. A lot of TV fan theories pop up, so we're gonna go heavy on the TV. This is a TV episode, so fuck you. This one is an Always Sunny fan theory, saying
Oh
that
jeez.
the Always Sunny characters do not look the way we see them in the TV show. They're unreliable narrators, and that's what they want to appear as.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so damn good looking, yet everybody's immediately repulsed by them before they even talk. Um, they're actually way uglier. I like it a lot because, like, it totally could be. And like the reason Danny DeVito looks like Danny DeVito, it's because he's not one of the main narrators. He's not even in the first season. Uh, and so, yeah, they're all actually hideous, but they're played by beautiful people because that's what they want to see themselves as.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I ran into this theory actually, but I didn't
So, yeah.
include it because I'm not as deep of an Always Sunny fan. I
Mhm.
definitely should be, but I've
Yeah.
only seen like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Um, my number three is is the most like mainstream theory, I guess.
Mhm.
It's from the movie Toy Story 2. The theory is basically that Andy's mother is actually Jesse's first kid, Emily. So
Okay.
they reveal in a flashback that the reason why Jesse in Toy Story 2, the reason why Jesse doesn't want to be a kid's toy anymore is
Mhm.
because her first owner gave her up and left her in a donation box in the middle of nowhere. And so this trauma has stuck with her for decades.
Mhm.
And there's a line in Toy Story 1 where Andy's mom says, "I'm sorry, honey, toys don't last forever." It's kind of a throwaway line, but I think it's interesting, and I think it's like a kind of a sweet little redemption for Jessie to find, after being rejected by her first owner, to find a special home in Andy after the fact. And
Mhm.
um, yeah, I just think it's like a sweet little
Yeah.
thing, and also kind of sad too.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a wholesome-ish almost theory.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually, little fun fact about me. I'm dropping fun facts after all your theories for some reason. I've never seen Toy Story 4 still.
Ooh, it's surprisingly good. Like
Yeah,
I
that's what
love
I
seeing.
hear. I just,
Yeah.
for some reason, I've never gotten around to it. And it's not a movie that I would like just watch alone for no reason. I don't know. But yeah, never seen them.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm into your theory. Mine is also my number three is a huge cliche one, I guess. It's another popular one.
Okay.
But the Nemo is an imaginary device for Marlin to come to terms with his wife's death.
Two
Uh,
Pixars.
yeah, we were shitting on this character's not real, but I like this a lot. He even kind of follows the stages of grief pretty closely, and he's kind of psychotic. You can tell he's just not mentally okay the entire movie.
Yeah.
And this is kind of just a cool way to think about it. Also in Latin, Nemo means no one, which kind of helped spur this theory.
Mm. I like that. I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Um, how do they explain Gil though?
I don't know. I didn't read too deep into it. I don't remember all the details. This was one that I heard like years ago, and I was like,
Oh,
"We'll
same.
have fucking Finding Nemo theory
Yeah,
again,"
yeah.
and now I'm here.
That's awesome. That's an awesome way to
Yeah.
talk about Marlin's journey.
Mm.
Um, but my number two is also like not super cliche, but it's from a cliche movie
Mm.
to talk about between two film bros. Of course, I'm talking about Inception. Um,
Like Inception or Pulp Fiction? Which one?
yeah,
Which one are we
yeah.
going? His
um,
soul is in the case.
I that was the first one I was like not going to talk about that one.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so with Inception, with the ambiguous ending, with the top spinning, several people have tried to guess what happens and stuff like that, and whether or not he's in the dream or in reality. And then Christopher Nolan said, like, it doesn't matter because he's finally moved on from the life that he lived before, and he's also like moved on from the death of his wife and from that trauma, and he's ready to face his children again after forgiving himself for her death and for his role in her death. But I some fans like to suggest that there's an even more concrete answer as to whether or not Cobb is in the dream world or in reality, and that
Mm.
is that Cobb lies about his totem. Um, Cobb says that the top it was his wife's totem, and tells
Mm.
everybody that that's the totem that he uses now. But his real totem, according to the fans, is his wedding ring. So when he's in the dream world, he always has his wedding ring on, and when he's outside the dream world, he always has his wedding ring off. And
Mhm.
so in the final frame, or in his final frame, you can see that he's no longer wearing his wedding ring, and he's actually in reality.
Yeah, this was one I heard. pretty pretty shortly after I saw it, and I subscribed immediately, and I still do. So I'm Team Wedding Ring.
Yeah, yeah.
My number two. My number two is that the Flintstones and the Jetsons live in the same time period, and that the rich haves have made their dwellings in outer space and up in the clouds above the wasteland that is where the Flintstones live. And so that's why like the Flintstones reference Christmas, which just wouldn't exist at that time. Like they
Right.
just it was before Jesus. And there's a bunch of other stuff like that. The Jetsons even like kind of half comment they're like, oh, we don't go to the below cloud people at some point. They visit each other. And so they live in the same time period.
Nice, nice. I never would have even thought of that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's super. It's one of those that like it doesn't change anything and it's not like a shattering, oh, this is a completely different show now. But it's just awesome.
Yeah. Um, I dig it. I dig it. For my number one, I'm gonna reference Twin Peaks again. I'm sorry. I know I
Hey,
do it like
fun fact, I'll be referencing it in mine. Ooh.
I know I know I talk about Lynch related stuff in every episode, but I got to do it again. This theory comes from, or this I guess analysis and interpretation, um, posed as a theory, is from Twin Perfect on YouTube. He suggests that the entire show, from seasons 1 through 3, and including Fire Walk with Me, is actually a metafiction that describes David Lynch's search for balance between dark and light in his own life and in his own art. Um, I, I'm not entirely sure if I agree with this, but I do appreciate the effort. He put out a 5 hour video building his case, and
Yeah.
then another 90-minute video explaining two incredibly marginal characters in season 3 that that further build his case. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I kind of went through the ones that I, because Twin Peaks season 3 is not for the faint of heart. It's very, very hard to not hard to watch, but like you won't know what's going on when you're watching it. And
Mhm.
so it takes a lot of rewatching. And so I kind of went through the parts that I didn't understand and like listen to him talk about those. And he has a good he builds a good case, and it's interesting. I'm not sure if I buy into it. I gotta watch it again all the way through
Mhm.
to figure that out. The way I've kind of looked at Twin Peaks is just like a really is just like as a fictional battle between light and dark and good and evil.
Mhm.
So but I never thought to make it into a metafiction or to make it out to be a metafiction. So I got to do some digging before I agree with this guy. But
Yeah.
I appreciate the effort. Uh, yeah,
Nice. I have seen maybe one episode of Twin Peaks, and so I'm gonna have to take your word for
yeah,
it, or his word for it. My final one does not directly. Well, I guess it actually does directly involve Twin Peaks and 415 other TV shows. Um,
what?
because this one's actually pretty much confirmed too. It's just you get a little crazy with it. So back in the day, there was a hospital drama called Saint Elsewhere,
Yes.
uh, and the end of it was it zoomed out on a snowy hospital, and it turned out that the hospital was in a snow globe. Character's child named Tommy was holding the snow globe, staring at it, and the doctor was like, "I wonder what he's thinking about." And so implying that the whole show took place in this character's mind, and it was all made up, and then the show ends. It's a cool ending. It was unique for its time. Blues people's dick off, but it extends further because if that show is in Tommy's mind, those characters pop up in a lot of other shows, and so that means in theory, those connections also mean that it was in Tommy's mind because that character exists solely in his mind. And so, because of that, there are 416 shows in his head, including Twin Peaks, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Community, Walking Dead, Fresh Prince, Knight Rider, Seinfeld, X Files, 24. So many shows. I wrote down an example for Doctor Who on how far they just connect and trickle down.
Wow.
So Don Westfall, the father of Tommy Westfall, who's in his mind, and two other doctors from the show visit Sam Malone's bar at Cheers, which means Cheers is in the universe. Cheers introduced Frasier, so Frasier's in the universe. John Hemingway of the John Larroquette show once called into Frasier's talk show on that show, so John Larroquette is in Frasier, which is in Cheers, which is in this show. John Larroquette show once mentioned Yo-Yo Dine, the manufacturing client, the law firm Wolfram and Hart. Wolfram and Hart had another client, Wayland and Yutani, that made weapons on the display screen for Firefly. And Wayland Yutani's ship from Firefly is seen in the BBC series Red Dwarf, which also depicted the TARDIS from Doctor Who. And so almost every TV show exists in the mind of this boy because of that.
Wow. I can use this kid's work ethic. Like,
yeah. There's some cigarettes that are in the X-Files that connect so many fucking shows, like Beverly Hills 90210, Buffy, Malcolm in the Middle, and that's also the connection to Breaking Bad. Is they're in The Walking Dead, and then The Walking Dead has blue meth from Breaking Bad, and so Breaking Bad is also a part of this universe.
goodness gracious,
But it makes sense. Like if one character solely exists here, why would they be showing up if that's not in the same mind of this child?
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow.